Hare Krishna. Before I begin, I really want to make this announcement that I feel utterly unqualified, insignificant, and extremely scared because I'm sitting in an assembly of exalted Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis who are so dear to Srila Prabhupada, who have served Srila Prabhupada all their life. There's nothing, absolutely nothing that I feel I will be able to say which makes any impact or any contribution in any way whatsoever in this assembly. But I want to start off by offering my obeisances to each one of you and being protected by your blessings and prayers. May the right words come at the right time, in the right mood of glorifying Krishna, purifying the heart, and bringing our consciousness closer and closer to their divine service. With this, I offer my obeisances to each one of you. Vanchakal. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrit, Madhya Lila chapter 13, the Lord's dancing at the Ratha Yatra. Text 147. Tumi brajer jivana ব্রজ রাজের প্রাণধন তুমি ব্রজের সকল সম্পদ কৃপার্দ্র তোমার মন আশি জিয়া ব্রজজন ব্রজে উদয় করা নিজ পদ তুমি ব্রজের জীবন ব্রজ রাজের প্রাণধন তুমি ব্রজের ব্রজ রাজের প্রাণধন তুমি ব্রজের জীবন ব্রজে রাজের প্রাণধন তুমি তুমি ব্রজের সকল সম্পদ তুমি তুমি ব্রজের সকল সম্পদ তুমি কৃপার্দ্র তোমার মন আশি জিয়া ব্রজজন কৃপার্দ্র তোমার মন আশি জিয়া ব্রজজন ব্রজে উদয় করা নিজ পদ ব্রজে উদয় করা Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. My dear Krishna, you are the life and soul of Vrindavan Dham. You are especially the life of Nanda Maharaj. You are the only opulence in the land of Vrindavan, and you are very merciful. Please come and let all the residents of Vrindavan live. Kindly keep your lotus feet again in Vrindavan. Purport. Srimati Radharani did not express her personal unhappiness at being separated from Krishna. She wanted to evoke Krishna's feelings for the condition of all the others in Vrindavan Dham, Mother Yashoda, Maharaj Nanda, the cowherd boys, the gopis, the birds, the bees on the banks of the Jamuna, the water of the Yamuna, the trees, the forests, and all other paraphernalia associated with Krishna before he left Vrindavan for Mathura. These feelings of Srimati Radharani were manifested by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and therefore he invited Lord Jagannath, Krishna, to return to Vrindavan. This or that is the purport of the Ratha Yatra, cars going from Jagannath Puri to the Gundicha temple. Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Tedshratarane. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna. In the pages of Granthrat Srimad Bhagavatam, we find very beautiful descriptions of Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan, Mathura, and Dwaraka, especially in the 10th canto. And the commentators describe that the first two cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam, they are like the wonderful lotus feet of Krishna. And systematically going upwards, the 10th canto represents the smiling face of Krishna. This 10th canto of Bhagavatam has 90 chapters, where about the first 39 or 40 chapters deal with Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan. And the remaining 51 chapters deal with Krishna's pastimes outside. Krishna appeared in Vrindavan as the son of Nanda and Yashoda. And he displayed such unparalleled manifestation of sweetness, which in no other incarnation, in no other abode, in no other parallel manifestation can this be seen. God is always worshipped as the all-knowing. He's always worshipped as the most powerful, the most opulent, the most merciful, the wealthiest, the most intelligent, the most famous, and surely all of this is true. But there is a certain reality of dealing with Bhagavan which was never displayed before. In all incarnations of the Lord, whether it is Narasimha Avatar or whether it is Rama's pastimes in Ayodhya, there's very strong display of his opulence. But when Krishna appeared in Vrindavan, there was so much opulence, but there was so much more sweetness to eclipse that opulence. Who would imagine that the Lord of the three worlds would find joy in breaking into homes, breaking pots and stealing butter, and be the object of love and chastisement at the same time? We see children in this world, they're very sweet, but they're not the greatest. And we see God in different incarnations, He is the greatest, but not necessarily the sweetest. in his expression. When you see Narasimha Dev, he's the greatest. When you see Ramachandra, he's the greatest. When you see Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, they are the greatest. But when the Lord appeared as Sri Damodar, he was the greatest and the sweetest at the same time. Bal Gopal, baby Gopal, he would get scared of the thundering and lightning. So when you see outside and it's a little gloomy and it's starting to rain, or it's already raining, it's quite a strong stimulant to remember Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, my dear Lord, "E sab chodat kahi nahi jao, e sab chodat pran haro." Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Mahasaya says, "Oh Krishna, the moon reminds me of you, the sun reminds me of you, the clouds remind me of you, the peacocks remind me of you, the singing of the cuckoo reminds me of you, the cold, wonderful breeze coming from the sandalwood forests and the mountains remind me of you. The darkness of the water of the Yamuna remind me of you. The dark nights in the winter season reminds me of you. The blue lotus floating in the Yamuna reminds me of you. Krishna, all these stimulants are so dear to me that I can't live without them." He doesn't say, "I can't live without you." He says, "I can't live without the stimulants which remind me of you." So when Krishna appeared in Vrindavan, he displayed such sweet pastimes that everyone loved him. When Krishna would dance, the peacocks would come, open up their feathers and go to embrace him. Because till now the peacocks were so used to seeing the rumbling of the rain cloud up in the sky. But now when they see the bluish black rain-filled monsoon cloud complexion of the threefold bending form of Govinda, on the ground, on the floor, on the dust of Vrindavan, the peacocks would relate to Krishna. They would think the cloud loves us so much that we have been dancing for the rain cloud, now that rain cloud has descended for us. And they have nothing to offer Krishna in reciprocation. So they would pick their own feathers from their body and run to Krishna and offer at his lotus feet. And this is why Krishna has so many feathers on his head. You will never find God with bird feathers. But Krishna has it. Barha pidam natavara vapuh karnayo karnikaram. The word barha pidam, barha means peacock feather, and apidam means a turban full of. So barha pidam means Krishna has so many peacock feathers on his turban that from a distance it seems as if a peacock is sitting on top of his head. And he would embrace the peacocks as they would embrace him. Mukta hara bakapati indradhanu pichatati Pitambara bijli sanchar Krishna nava jaladhara Jagat sasya upara Barsaye lilamritadhar. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita describes Krishna is a perfect display of joy for the peacocks. Why? Because he's a rain cloud, and like the rain cloud, he's always moving. Like the rain cloud, he's full of rasa. Rasa has two meanings. One is water and the other is transcendental loving mellows. And like the rain cloud, there is a thundering that's associated to Krishna, and that is his flute. Just like the clouds have thundering and lightning, Krishna has the playing of the flute, which is the thundering, and the yellow dhoti that he wears, which is the lightning. Just like the rain clouds have the 7 colors of the rainbow, Krishna has the 7 colors on his peacock feather on top of his head. And just like the rain clouds have birds flying in a V shape around the rain cloud, when Krishna is walking in Vrindavan and he's running with his friends, the V-shaped pearl necklace which is moving on his chest resembles or reminds us of the V-shaped flying of the birds around the cloud. This cloud called Krishna is pouring nectar on the field of the hearts of the Brajbasis, where the crops of divine ecstatic love grows. How wonderful. Govinda Venum Anumattam Mayura Nrityam Prekshadri Sanmavaratanya Samasta Sattvam. Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 21 describes Krishna is the central point, and Srila Prabhupada mentions this in the purport, that Krishna is the central point of affection for all the Brajbasis. When the peacocks love Krishna so much and they're embracing Krishna with their feathers, it's not fair for the other animals and birds because they can't see Krishna. Krishna is completely eclipsed by their love. So what do the birds and the animals do? They run on top of Govardhan hill. And from the peak of Govardhan, they take a peek into Krishna's personality. And therefore the Bhagavatam describes, as Krishna is melting the hearts of everyone, the trees get attracted. And when the trees get attracted, it's described just looking at Krishna, flowers and fruits manifest on the trees and the branches of the trees of Braj. The flowers on the branches of the tree represents the hair on the body of these trees. These trees are great personalities. And they love Krishna so much that they want to be born in Vrindavan, they want to live in Vrindavan, and they want to die in Vrindavan. And when Krishna plays the flute, their hair stands on end in the form of blossoming flowers. Their hearts become full in ecstatic love in the form of the ripening of the fruits on those branches of those trees. Their tears are full of, their eyes are full of tears, and tears drip down their cheek in the form of honey dripping down their trunks. And just like a pure devotee in ecstatic love dances, these trees want to dance, but alas, alas, their feet are tied to the dust of Braj, so they move in the breeze. The Acharyas explain, these trees love Krishna so much that when Krishna and Balaram walk, these trees sometimes drop a branch. Why? Only so that they can touch Krishna's feet. And sometimes while Krishna's walking, the branch dips down. Krishna with his lotus palm, he moves the branch and the tree gets even more ecstatic. It's one thing to touch Krishna and it's one thing to be touched by him. What to speak of these birds on the branches of these trees? Prayo batanga vihaga munayo vanesmin Krishne kshitam taduditam kala venu geetam Aruhyaye druma bhujan ruchira pravalan shrunvanti milita drisho vighatanya vachaha. Bhagavatam describes these birds love Krishna so much that like yogis, they live in the middle of the forest. Like yogis, they sit with their eyes closed. Like yogis, they keep mum and don't speak, following the vow of maunam or silence. Like yogis, they live off fruits on the branches of these trees. Like yogis, they meditate on Krishna's form and meditate on Krishna's flute sound. His Holiness Shivaram Maharaj, in one article, I loved it. I really loved it. He said these birds love Krishna so much that at one point in ecstatic love, they're holding on to the tip of the branch through their feet. And just like pure Vaishnavas who fall in ecstasy, these birds sometimes lose grip and they fall from the branch. But nothing happens to them. Why? Because they've already wept so much in separation from Krishna that their tears have formed a pool of water. And these birds fall on the pond or the pool of their own ecstatic tears. And they continue to swim and fly back and do this for all times to come. What to speak of the deer of Vrindavan? How dear is Krishna to them? Dhanyasma mooda gatayopi harinya eta ya nanda nandanam upata vichitra vesham akaranya venu ranitam saha Krishna sara pujam dadur virachitam pranayavalokai. The Bhagavatam describes these golden deer, they love Krishna so much. Anyway, in the world of poetry, it is a known fact that a hunter catches the deer by playing the flute. Then what to be said when Krishna becomes the hunter? When Krishna becomes the hunter and he goes deep into the forest of Vrindavan and picks up his weapon in the form of flute and starts playing the flute, these deer come out of their hiding their eyes completely stunned in ecstasy. If they blink, they miss a fraction of Krishna's bodily beauty. They go close to Krishna and it's described, they lick Krishna's lotus feet in ecstasy. So there's nectar on their tongue, there's nectar in their eyes and nectar in their ears. Then they start smelling and sniffing Krishna, and there's nectar into their nostrils. After smelling Krishna, they can't smell anything else, because yad gatva na nivartante taddhama paramam mama. Once you enter, you can't escape. The fragrance of Krishna enters the nostril of these deer, and even when they smell flowers, they only smell Krishna's feet. Then with their skin, with all their heart, they embrace Krishna. But it's not that fast. Because as they come closer and closer to Krishna, they get stunned and they can't move their feet. And it's described they come with their husbands, the male deer. And what do the male deer do? They nudge the female, they push their wives. Look, you're so close to Krishna. Now is not the time to get ecstatically stunned. Keep walking, keep walking. They keep pushing. And when the gopis of Vrindavan see this, it's more salt to their wound. Because they feel at home we can't even express our love to Krishna, let alone follow Krishna's flute sound with our husbands, and then feel ecstatic and feel encouraged by our husbands not to feel stunned but actually keep moving on the path of attaining Krishna. The gopis feel, oh dear Lord, lifetime after lifetime may we become the deer of Vrindavan, so we can love you with all our heart without any inhibition. We can express our love completely. What to speak of the cows of Vrindavan? Gavascha Krishna mukha nirgata venu geetam piyusha uttapita karana putai pibantyaha. It's described the cows of Vrindavan are chewing the grass. As they keep chewing, they see Krishna in front of their eyes and they hear Krishna's flute sound. And it's described their ears become like pots raised upwards to hold the nectar of his flute sound. Now the cows have a problem. The confusion is, should we drink the nectar through our eyes, our ears, or our mouth? The grass is tasty because it has the dust of Krishna's feet. The ears become cups holding the nectar of Krishna's flute sound. The eyes are full of tears looking at Krishna's Rupa Madhuri. They think, let's block two of these inflows and drink all that nectar just through the ears. They close their eyes and they stop to chew the grass. The grass slips from their mouth and they don't realize while they're drinking Krishna's flute sound through their ears. The calves, which are only 2 days old, are busy drinking the mother's milk through the udder. And as the calves are drinking this milk, they look at Gopal. They look at Gopal. There Gopal, there Govind is here. The calves forget to drink milk. As the grass falls from the mouth of the cows, milk drips from the mouth of the calves. Both have their mouths closed, both have their eyes closed, and with their ears, which are pot of nectar, hold the nectar stream, the ambrosial stream of Krishna's Venu Madhuri. Sri Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he writes, Leela Premna Priyadhikyam Madhurye Venu Rupayo Iti Asadharanam Proktam Govindasya Chatushtayam. Sri Rupa Goswami Pad says, how can I describe the great features of the Lord in Vrindavan? Generally, you see the Lord is described in 4 features. Whether it is Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, Sudarshan, or whether it is Ram, Lakshman, Bharata, Shatrughna, or whether it is Vasudev, Sankarshan, Aniruddha, Pradyumna, or whether it is Mahavishnu with his 4 arms. But Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu emphatically glorifies that Krishna's 4 great qualities in Vrindavan are the nectar of his form, the sweetness of his flute, the wonderful association of his friends, and the love that he feels in that company. So, Leela Madhuri, the pastimes, Prema Madhuri, the ecstatic love, Rupa Madhuri, the sweetness of his form, and Venu Madhuri, the sweetness of his flute. Vrindavan is surcharged with this nectar. And just like any dream plot, any dream story, everything is going good, but there's a little twist. In the land of Vrindavan, in the hearts of the Brajbasis, the twist was tremendously sorrowful. A great personality by the name Akrura, whose name literally means he who is not cruel. Akrura. Krura means cruelty. Akrura means he who is not cruel. It's quite interesting. Akrura comes to Vrindavan on behalf of Kamsa Maharaj, requesting Krishna to come to Mathura. From Mathura, Akrura comes to Vrindavan to bring Krishna out. That was one of the most horrifying days in the lives of the Brajbasis. In the pages of the Shastra, in every incarnation you find union and separation, nourishing one another. Whether it is the pastime of Sita and Ram being separated only to come back again, or the pastime of the Brajbasis and Krishna being separated only to come back again, or the pastime of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu being separated from Vishnu Priya Devi, never to come back again. Sri Rupa Goswami Pad describes, Na vina vipralambhena sambhogam pushtimashnute. Without separation, union cannot be nourished. And he gives the example, which I'm paraphrasing a bit. It's like using an axe, using a saw to cut a log of wood. Whether the movement is forward or the movement is backward, one thing is for sure, the log of wood gets cut deeper. So whether it is meeting Krishna in union or separation from Krishna in vipralambha, one thing is for sure, the love and remembrance and the absorption in Krishna just goes deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. Meeting Krishna with the apparent fear in heart, which is called as bhavi viraha. Meeting Krishna with the apparent thought in the heart, I wish I never get separated from him. And then get separated from him only to hallucinate that I'm meeting him. This is unbelievable. In this world, when we feel separation from someone, we feel separation if that person is gone. But that person doesn't feel any more separation because material circumstances, once separated, gone forever. Like two logs of wood separated by waves of time. When we are separated from someone, we may feel that separation, but that person cannot reciprocate to our absorption. But the glorious thing about Krishna, because he lives in the heart of everyone who feels separation, when we burn in the fire of separation from him, he's sitting in the heart as Paramatma, he reciprocates, and that makes it even more joyful. Krishna mounted the chariot of Akrura. The whole of Vrindavan came to a standstill outside the house of Nanda Maharaj at Nanda Bhavan. And as Akrura's chariot was being pulled by these horses of Mathura, the gopis of Vrindavan, they pleaded, Akrura, please don't take our Krishna away. The residents of Vrindavan pleaded, Akrura, please don't take our Krishna away. But then Krishna had to leave Vrindavan for all of us. Krishna came in this world internally to taste mellows of love, but externally, Jayatu Jayatu Prithvi Bharanasho Mukundaha. Krishna has come in this world to reduce the burden of Mother Earth. So Krishna left Vrindavan to kill all these kings and establish dharma by speaking Bhagavad Gita. Can you imagine if Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita in Vrindavan, nobody would take him seriously. Because here is Gopal in Vrindavan who needs bedtime stories to go to sleep. He tells Mother Yashoda, can you tell me some story? And Mother Yashoda would start telling him the story of how there was Dasharath Maharaj who had 3 queens and 4 sons. And Krishna would start to chuckle and tell Mother Yashoda, I know that story. You have told me this story many times. Mother Yashoda would say, okay, I'll tell you another new story, which I have never told you before. And Krishna would say, I'm very excited. And Mother Yashoda would say, long time ago, there was a king by the name Hiranyakashipu. And he had a 5-year-old son called Prahlad. And Mother Yashoda would build on 10 chapters of the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam in 5 minutes. And when she would come to the point of the cracking of the pillar, Krishna would smile. And Mother Yashoda would say, why are you smiling? Krishna would say, that's me. I was the one who cracked that pillar. Mother Yashoda would say, when I speak about Ramachandra, you say you are Ramachandra. When I speak about Narasimhadev, you say you are Narasimhadev. Balaram comes running in and says, and I am Anantashesh. When he is Ram, I am Lakshman. When he is Vishnu, I am Anantashesh. Oh mother, you're so fortunate. He is Krishna and I am Balaram and we are incarnating in your house. And Mother Yashoda picks up the stick to ask Balaram, is there a reason why the 10 incarnations only find my house to appear in? Balaram, if I can do a Damodar Leela with Krishna, I can do a Damodar Leela with you. And Balaram runs away. That same Krishna who runs with his friends, mimicking the sounds of the cuckoo, dancing with the peacock, jumping into the waters and mimicking the sound of the croaking of the frogs, sometimes making fun of the cranes on the banks of these rivers, sometimes running to catch the shadow of the flying birds. That Krishna who climbs the branches of the trees to jump into the water of the Yamuna, only to prove to his friends what a good swimmer he is. Now Vrindavan has become bereft of the association of that Gopal. That Krishna who plays the flute in a threefold bending form at Vamshivat on the full moon night of Sharad Purnima on the banks of the Yamuna has left Vrindavan with only memories. The residents of Vrindavan cannot live without him and they cannot die without being absorbed in those memories. Krishna is like a double-edged sword because without him they can't live, and remembering his memories they can't die. His Holiness Gaur Govinda Maharaj, in his unparalleled Mathura meets Vrindavan, he gives this example that Krishna told the Brajbasis, I will return. He said, I will return. Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj said that this one statement of Krishna, that I will return, that was like a lock to the house. You see, when there's a little cow shed and there are cows inside, and accidentally if there's a fire, all the cows want to escape. But imagine if someone puts a lock from outside. Those cows can't escape and can't live. So Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj explains the Brajbasis' hearts are like innocent calves. And Vrindavan is a cowshed which has caught on fire of separation, and they all want to leave their bodies, but alas, alas, the lock on the outside is the promise of Krishna that I will return. So the residents of Vrindavan feel if we die and if Krishna returns, he will be in pain. So let us be alive. Why? Because the residents of Vrindavan have heard the Ramayana and they know that Sri Ramachandra left and Dasharath Maharaj left his body. And when Ram returned, he was aggrieved to see his father no more. So the Brajbasis felt, if we leave our bodies and Krishna returns, he will feel burnt in the fire of separation from us. So better we tolerate this fire and be alive than to die and give pain to Krishna. But this separation continued for 100 long years. Krishna left Vrindavan, he went to Mathura. And the plan was very simple. Kill Kamsa and return. Free Devaki and Vasudeva and return. But things didn't work out the way we plan sometimes. Krishna, in his most wonderful feature in Vrindavan, covered by Yogamaya, he left Vrindavan to go to Mathura. However, Sri Jiva Goswami has explained how two Krishnas appeared. And the Krishna in Mathura who came to Vrindavan came back to Mathura. And the Krishna of Vrindavan never left. So Vrindavanam parityajya sa kvachin naiva gacchati. Krishnonyo yadu sambhuto ya purna sostyatapparaha. Vrindavanam parityajya sa kvachin naiva gacchati. Vrindavan Krishna eternally lives in Vrindavan. And the Mathura Krishna, Devaki Nandan Krishna, who came from the prison, he left. Now after killing Kamsa, Kamsa's two wives became widowed. And naturally, their father Jarasandha, he wanted to take revenge of the killer of their son-in-law. Kamsa, Shishupal, Dantavakra, Kalayavan and Jarasandha. They were like the 5-part armed team of Dwapar Yuga. They were the Rakshasas who had put their armies together. When Krishna killed Kamsa, all these 5 armies took on Krishna. Now if Krishna would have returned back to Vrindavan, where there is no fort, there are no soldiers, there are no weapons, there's absolutely no horses, elephants and infantry. All these armed forces would enter Vrindavan and there would be a massacre. Nanda Maharaj is so simple-hearted. Even when 2 calves fight, he can't resolve the fight. He's so innocent. He would just pet both of them and they would part ways. Imagine Krishna coming back to Vrindavan. There would be bloodshed. There would be a massacre. So to protect the Brajbasis, Krishna stayed in Mathura. 17 attacks were made by Jarasandha. In fact, even before this, Vasudeva Maharaj told Krishna, "Do you know you're a Kshatriya?" Krishna till now thought he was a Vaishya, the son of Nanda. And now there was an identity crisis because his father told him, "You're a Kshatriya and therefore you're going to be a king in the future. And you can't have a king who's not properly trained. You have to go to Sandipani Muni's ashram." So that child who up to 10 years and 7 months was just frolicking in the playgrounds of Vrindavan had to go to Sandipani Muni's ashram in Avanti. The residents of Vrindavan were in pangs of separation, waiting for Krishna to return. They had sent Nanda Maharaj to get Krishna back, but alas, Nanda came back all by himself, telling the Brajbasis, Krishna has promised he will come. Now when the Brajbasis could not hold on to their patience anymore, they came to Vrindavan and they came to Mathura and Krishna wasn't there because he had gone to Avanti, Ujjain. And by then, when Krishna returned, they returned back to Vrindavan. So they didn't meet again. Amidst all of these different twists and turns in the pastime, 2 things happened. Krishna sent Uddhava and Krishna also migrated and moved to Dwarka. Uddhava was Krishna's best friend. Vrishninam pravaro mantri Krishnasya daita sakha shishyo brihaspate sakshat Uddhavo buddhi sattama. It is described Uddhava was such a dear friend. He was an expert disciple of Brihaspati, who never took any human disciples, by the way. He only took demigod disciples. Uddhava was a human disciple. Extremely intelligent. Extremely loving associate, friend, cousin, brother to Krishna. A pure-hearted devotee of Krishna. And Krishna sent Uddhava with the message, Gacchodhava braja soumya pitru no pritimavaha gopina mat viyogadin mat sandeshaihi vimochaya. O Uddhav, please go and pacify our parents. Sripad Sanatan Goswami writes in his Brihad Vaishnav Toshni Tika that, hey Uddhav, Krishna said, please go and pacify our parents. Why our parents? Please pacify them like I would pacify them. Or they would treat you like how they would treat me. So they would not see a difference between you and me, therefore our parents. And when you go to the gopis of Vrindavan, don't try to pacify them, O Uddhav, don't try. Gopinam mat viyogadin mat sandeshaihi vimochaya. please, please share my letter with them. There was only one letter that Krishna sent. But the word says Sandeshaihi in the plural usage, which means, oh Krishna, please, oh Uddhava, please give my messages in the plural. And Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments, there's only one message. But just read it to the gopis. If they ask for clarification, repeat the message again. Don't add in your perspective, Uddhava. The gopis are beyond your reach. It's like when you have a hat, you wear a hat and you look at a tall skyscraper. And as you keep looking, you see the hat falls behind you. So Uddhava had the hat of intelligence. And as he came and started looking at the tall mountain peak of the gopis' love, his hat fell behind him. Uddhava became so humble. He came to the gopis to pacify them, but he got humbled by their love. When Uddhava said, "Oh gopis, please remember Krishna. Krishna is everywhere. Krishna is inside of everything. Krishna is outside of everything. He's so near, yet so far, yet so near." So basically, Uddhava was preaching Ishopanishad to the gopis. And the gopis of Vrindavan, one commentator writes, the gopis of Vrindavan said, "Hey Uddhava, our hearts are like mirrors, cheto darpana marjana, mirrors, and your words are like lifeless stones." When you take a stone and you hit the mirror, what happens? The mirror cracks to thousands of pieces. Oh Uddhava, every word that you're speaking is actually like a sharp stone thrown to crack the mirror of our hearts to thousands of pieces. But the problem now is, before there was one Krishna, now when one Krishna is reflected on every piece of the mirror, there are millions of Krishnas in our heart. We had a problem removing one Krishna out of our heart. Now your words have cracked the mirror of our heart and thousands of reflections are seen and we can't take Krishna out. You're saying remembering Krishna is the cause of joy. For us, remembering Krishna is the cause of suffering. Seeing the love of the gopis, Uddhava said, "Asamaho charanarenu jushamaham syam brindavane kimapi gulmalataushadhinam vande nanda brajastrinam padarenurabhikshnashaha yasam harikathodgitam punati bhuvanatrayam." Uddhava wanted simply to be a blade of grass in the land of Vrindavan so that the dust of the lotus feet of the gopis can become the crown on the top of his head. Krishna said he will come. Then when the Brajbasis tried, Nanda Baba returned, he said Krishna will come. Then when the Brajbasis tried, Krishna had gone to Avanti. When they returned, Krishna returned. Then when they again tried to come, Uddhava came to pacify. And none of this was working. Finally, it is described in the 82nd chapter of the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. After 100 years of separation, when Krishna was ruling Dwaraka, it was the auspicious occasion of solar eclipse. And Krishna wrote a letter to the Brajbasis headed by Nanda Maharaj that you have tried to come and see me so many times and I want to come but I'm not able to come. Now is an opportunity. All the kings, everyone, all saintly personalities, including the yogis around the world, they assemble in the holy place of Kurukshetra. Because Kurukshetra has this age-old historic relevance. Even the Lord, the great incarnation Parashuram, after circling the globe 21 times, he atoned for his sins. Prabhupada explains in the Krishna book, there were no sins, but to set proper example in modern society. Parashuram, he atoned for his sins at Kurukshetra. At this land of Kurukshetra, geographically, the Brajbasis are in the present day Uttar Pradesh, Vrindavan. And Krishna was in Dwaraka, the present day Gujarat. And Kurukshetra is in the place called Haryana, which geographically comes in the middle. So Krishna wrote a letter to Nanda Maharaj, you Brajbasis can come from here and we Dwarkavasis can come. And there at Kurukshetra we will meet. After 100 years of separation, when the Brajbasis saw Krishna, Nanda and Yashoda embraced Krishna and Balaram to their heart, and it is described, they put Krishna on their laps. They put Balaram on their laps, and they were weeping and bathing these two brothers with their tears, and they couldn't speak a word. Krishna and Mother Yashoda, Nanda Baba and Balaram, they were choked, they were short of words after seeing each other for 100 years of separation. Finally, after meeting all the Brajbasis, Srimati Radharani, on behalf of the gopis, met with Krishna. Srimati Radharani told Krishna, "O Krishna, these are the same moonlit nights of the month of Chaitra. These are the same beautiful, fragrant, aromatic breeze of the Malati flowers. You are the same Krishna. I am the same Radha. But my heart longs to go back to the land of Vrindavan." Why? Because Krishna, here you are covered with weapons and crown and royal armor and sitting on chariots and infantry and elephants and horses. But my heart goes back to the Shyamasundar, whose chest was decorated with garlands of forest flowers, who was running barefoot playing his flute with gunja berry and Vaijayanti malas and a turban full of peacock feathers. Krishna, these horses and these elephants don't satisfy my heart as much as the cows and calves of Vrindavan. Krishna, this field of Kurukshetra doesn't satisfy me like the banks of the Jamuna on the full moon night of Sharat Purnima under the shade of the Kadamba tree. Krishna, please come back to Vrindavan. Annero hridaye man mora mana Vrindavan mana bana eka kori jani যদি তোমার পদদ্বয় তাহা করা উদয় তবে তোমার পূর্ণ কৃপা মানি. Radharani said, "O Krishna, at the end of the Gopi Geet I had prayed, Yatte sujata charanam buruham sthaneshu. O Krishna, please place your lotus feet on my heart. But today I am explaining to you what that heart is. Mora mana Vrindavan." At the end of the Gopi Geet, I said, "Krishna, please place your feet on my heart." But today I say, my heart is Vrindavan. So if you really want to fulfill our desire, please, you've been away from Vrindavan for a long time. Please come back. Please come back. Krishna looked at Srimati Radharani and he said, "I have been feeling more pangs of separation from all of you than what you have been feeling from me. All of you have had one another to share your grief, but I had nobody as I was all by myself in Dwaraka. I had nobody, and I couldn't share my grief with anyone. They would not understand. Even at night it is described, Rukmini and Satyabhama would notice. All day after being with the queens of Vrindavan, Krishna would toss and turn in bed, saying, Gopi, Gopi, Radhe, Radhe, Nanda, Yashoda, Vrindavan, Vrindavan." Radharani said, if our love is transcendental and selfless and completely pure, then how is it that after 100 years of separation, there was no death? Because generally when you're separated from someone, and there's true love, even in this world you see, of course it's not true love, but however true it is, you see when one person leaves, the other person leaves very soon. We've seen that so many times. Radharani asked this question, why is it amidst pure, selfless, unadulterated, unmotivated love, with 100 years of separation, there was no death? Krishna reveals the secret. Rakhite tomaro jivan সেবি আমি নারায়ণ, তার শক্তি আসে নীতি নীতি, তোমাসনে ক্রীড়া করি, নিশি যাও যদুপুরী, সেই তুমি মানে মোর স্ফূর্তি, সেই তুমি মানে মোর স্ফূর্তি. Krishna said, in Dwarka, O Sri Radharani, in Dwarka I worshipped a deity of Narayan. Quite interesting. Krishna is worshipping the deity of Narayana, Vishnu. Rakhite tomar jivan sevi ami Narayan. Chaitanya Charitamrita. Krishna said, I worshipped a deity of Narayan. With tears in my eyes, I offered him Gandha, Pushpa, Doop, Deep, Naivedya. And Narayan became so pleased, he appeared before me and said, Krishna, what do you want? Krishna said with folded palms, oh dear Narayana, I only ask you for one thing, please keep my Radharani alive. Please keep my Radharani alive. So Vishnu said, you're so selfless. You're asking only for the residents of Vrindavan. That is for sure. I will fulfill your desire. Now please ask something for yourself. Krishna said, give me the benediction that I can go back to them as soon as possible. Narayan said, let me bless you, O Krishna. May you have the power to go to Vrindavan every day. Krishna told Srimati Radharani, I came to Vrindavan every day. Actually, all day I was in Dwarka. As soon as the sun was setting, I would rush to Vrindavan. And I would see you in Vrindavan. But alas, alas, in pangs of separation, you would think you are hallucinating. You would think you're dreaming. But it was actually me. Sometimes you would think it was a tamal tree in the shape of Shamasundar. No, Radhe, it was Shamasundar in the shape of a tamal tree. It was me waiting for you. And every morning as the sun would rise, I would run back to Dwarka, and this is what I did for 100 years, and this is what kept you alive. And because the residents of Vrindavan were alive, that kept me alive. But Krishna, now it is too much. Vrindavana Govardhana, Jamuna Pulina Vana, Shei Kunjara Sadika Leela, ব্রজবাসী ব্রজজন, মাতা পিতা বন্ধুগণ, বড় চিত্র কেমনে পাশরিলা. Now Radharani is using rasa as a weapon to blackmail Krishna. She's saying, do you remember Vrindavan by any chance? Or have you forgotten Vrindavan? Oh, by the way, do you remember Govardhan? Do you remember the beautiful banks of the Jamuna? Do you remember the kunjas? Do you remember the forests? Do you remember the Brajbasis? Forget about all of us. What about Nanda and Yashoda? Oh Krishna, please don't be so hard-hearted and forget all of us. Please come back. Krishna told Srimati Radharani, your wish is my command. I will come, but I have only a few more demons to destroy. And after that, I will come. And Srila Jiva Goswami in the Sandarbhas, he has explained how after killing Dantavakra, Krishna returned to Vrindavan through Lohavan. But on that occasion at the meeting of Kurukshetra, Krishna told the Brajbasis, it will take some more time. Please hold on. I will do what I have to do as far as responsibility is concerned, and then I will come. So at that time it is described, the gopis of Vrindavan, the residents of Vrindavan, they closed their eyes and they put Krishna on the chariot of their heart. And with ropes of love, they started pulling Krishna, the love of their life, who's been placed on the chariot of their heart with very thick ropes of love. They started pulling him from Kurukshetra to Brajbhumi. But this nobody knew. This only Krishna knew, because he's the Paramatma. Everybody else just saw external conversations. But after 4,500 years, 500 years ago and 4,500 after Krishna Leela, when Krishna appeared in this world as Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, প্রেম রস নির্যাস করিতে আস্বাদন, রাগ মার্গ ভক্তি লোকে করিতে প্রচারণ, মোর পুত্র মোর সখা মোর প্রাণপতি, এই ভাবে যেই মোরে করে শুদ্ধ ভক্তি, আপনাক বড় মানে আম সমহীন, এই ভাবে আমি হই তাহার অধীন. Being completely bound externally and internally by the loving sentiments of Srimati Radharani. Sri Jiv Goswami Pad in the Mangalacharan to Tattva Sandarbha he writes, Anta Krishna Bahir Gaura Darshitangadi Vaibhavam. So wonderful. What happened in Dwapar Yuga flipped over in Kali Yuga. In Dwapar Yuga, Radharani was hiding. In the pages of the Bhagavatam, you can't find Radharani directly. But Krishna's glory as Bhagavan is externally seen. So in Dwapar Yuga, in the pages of the Bhagavatam, Krishna's greatness takes the external form and Radharani hides internally. And in Kali Yuga, it just flips outward, where Radharani's devotion comes ahead and Krishna's godly nature hides. And he comes as Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears in this world now to taste the same pastime, but from the vision of the Brajbasis. How wonderful! Krishna as the king of Dwaraka, who is the Lord of Vrindavan, now appears as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, taking the loving sentiments of Radha in the heart, covered by the golden complexion of Radha externally, as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, now burning in the forest fire of separation from himself. Jagannath appears as Krishna of Dwaraka on the chariot of the hearts of the Brajbasis. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Radharani at Kurukshetra. Jagannath is Krishna of Dwaraka. And what Radharani did to Krishna by placing him on the chariot of her heart, pulled by the ropes of love, unseen by the world, was externally manifested as the Ratha Yatra by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he came in front of Jagannath, this was the final instant of Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj's departure from this world. In Mayapur, in February of 1996, on the day of the appearance of Srila Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj, Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj was asked about the mood of Radha and Krishna's meeting, and the meeting through the meeting of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Jagannath at the Ratha Yatra. And Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj continued to speak, and at one point when he got Radha and Krishna eye to eye at Kurukshetra, he said, Baba, I cannot continue. He said, Kirtan, Kirtan, Gopal, Gopal. He called for a picture of Gopal, glancing at his Ishtadev. Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj's head hung. And he departed from this world, remembering this pastime. Ratha Yatra definitely is an occasion to give Jagannath to the whole world. It is definitely an occasion to distribute the holy name, distribute books, distribute prasad, and preach about Krishna. But the Ratha Yatra also has the inner significance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's personal relish in the mood of Radha, placing Jagannath as Dwarkadish on the chariot of her hearts and pulling through ropes of love from Kurukshetra to Vrindavan. Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he was placed at the lotus feet of Jagannath, and that's when a garland of Jagannath fell and blessed Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur. And what to speak of what Srila Prabhupada did. Jagannath is called Jagannath, the Lord of the universe, but that Ratha Yatra was only in Puri. So who's going to prove that he's the Lord of the universe? He's not the Lord only of Jagannath Puri, he's the Lord of the whole universe, he's the Lord of the whole world. And Srila Prabhupada took that onus on his shoulders to take the Lord of the universe for a world tour. When the British were ruling India, they were amazed. What is this Ratha Yatra ceremony? No internet, no website, no public announcements, and millions of people assemble in one place. They come during sunrise, they leave at sunset, never to be seen again. Again, one fine day, next year, they all assemble, Who's communicating? How does the word spread? The British wanted to stop this. And they made a little rule that this festival causes stampede and loss of life, so it should be stopped. They tried to stop Ratha Yatra in Jagannath Puri. Prabhupada started Ratha Yatra in London. He took it around the world. And how amazing. 10,000 devotees, even till this present day. 50th anniversary of New York Ratha Yatra. 10,000, even if it's raining. Even if it's snowing someday. Devotees with ecstatic feeling of joy, assembling from all parts of the world, at least all parts of the country, at the same time, dancing and chanting for Jagannath's pleasure. It has a personal significance in my life because my beloved Guru Maharaj, Srila Radha Govinda Maharaj, appeared on this day of Ratha Yatra. So as his servant, I am coming here. My Guru Maharaj told me, whenever you see my God brothers, serve them to their satisfaction like you would do to me. So when I see the God brothers of my Guru Maharaj, I see my Guru Maharaj everywhere. So I am a very insignificant soul who has no experience materially or spiritually. But somehow by the order of the management of the temple, they told me to sit here. And even 5 minutes before the start of class, I was telling the devotees, His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu is here. His Grace Shrutakirti Prabhu is here. Mother Malati is here. Everyone's here. I think they should speak. I said, no, they are going to speak and they will bless you today. So I said, I will receive their blessings. So whatever mistakes may have happened, Mother Nirakula too. Whatever mistakes may have happened through my words, through my intentions, please, all of my superiors, please kindly forgive me. I am simply trying to repeat what I have read in Srila Prabhupada's books and in the books of the followers of Srila Prabhupada. I am in no way an authority in any stream or any understanding. So please feel free to correct me. Please feel free to suggest and add. I am just doing this service for my own purification. Thank you very much. Gaura Premanande! Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Sudarshan ki, Shri Shri Radha Govinda Dev ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitaya Gaura Premanande.
His Grace Amarendra Prabhu ki jai, Srila Prabhupada